The government appears to be cracking down on dissenting voices, with a string of high-profile leaders who are critics of the Kenya Kwanza administration suddenly in the crosshairs. From corruption charges to incitement allegations, a number of outspoken critics of President William Ruto were targeted by law enforcement officers on Monday. From Trans Nzoia to Nairobi, Meru and Murang'a, the political battlefield is heating up. Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya, Mumias East Member of Parliament Peter Salasia, former Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua all found themselves on the receiving end of what is being seen as a wave of political retaliation. As our senior political affairs reporter Chris Tairu reports, critics say what's unfolding is not about justice, but a calculated attempt to silence those challenging President William Ruto's rule.
Monday morning, and chaos erupted in Kitale, Trans Nzoia County after EACC detectives raided the residence of Trans Nzoia Governor George Natembeya in search of documents linked to 1.4 billion shilling corruption investigations. However, the operation was met with fierce resistance from the governor's supporters, who condemned the move as a political witch hunt targeting a vocal critic of the Ruto administration. Vehicles belonging to the EACC were vandalized during the standoff. Although the EACC insists that Natembeya has been receiving kickbacks when awarding tenders to his cronies, his supporters argue that this is a political move to silence him, given that he has been a strong critic of the Ruto administration.
Na mimi nataka kuambia rais ya kwamba the moment unaendelea kushika Natembeya, usifikiria kwamba unashika Natembeya utakuwa unachokoza Waluya kwa complete kama Western.
Kama ni mheshimiwa rais Kasongo, Trans Nzoia sisi tumekuwa watu wa upinzani na hatuogopi kabisa.
Kwa Bwana Zakayo, Bwana Kasongo, ya kwamba wewe upende usipende wewe ni one tongue.
Later in the day, Governor Natembeya presented himself at the EACC headquarters in Nairobi to record a statement regarding the allegations.
This is a political witch hunt. I believe this is a deliberate intimidation and harassment of the opposition that is meant to silence, particularly those very vocal leaders.
If it quacks like a duck, swims like a duck, then it is a duck. This one is political persecution. It is not fight against corruption.
Kama wameanzisha hiyo maneno ya kutumia askari kuharas wanasiasa, nataka kuonya Murkomen.
Tulidanganywa na Wetangula tukakupigia kura kama jamii ya Waluya. Raundi hii ikiwepo unakuja na hii tabia ya kutuma hao watu waje wanyanyase Natembeya, my friend, sahau kura ya jamii ya Waluya.
And as Natembeya was busy fighting to clean his name, Mumias East MP Peter Salasia was having his day in court after spending the weekend in police custody. The outspoken legislator, also a known government critic, was charged with hate speech and was released on a cash bail of 200,000 shillings, with the court further directing the state to provide him with security after his bodyguard was disarmed during the arrest.
Power is transient, and we know today we are being harassed. Today, I should not be mishandled the way they did, because I've announced my presidential bid, and I want to ask President William Ruto that I can only be the best president if, as I'm going to win the president of 2027, I'll be the best because I will not harass him.
Meanwhile, more than 200 kilometers from Nairobi in Meru County, former Governor Kawira Mwangaza was a woman under siege after chaos erupted at an event hosted by the former Meru Governor. Her popular Okolea charity event was violently disrupted by police who lobbied tear gas at her supporters. Mwangaza and her driver suffered minor injuries in the incident. The former county boss claims the attack was part of a wider plan to frustrate her political career.
How you, the government, can interfere with a peaceful program of assisting the poor?
Na nataka kuambia Deputy President, wewe ni mtoto ya Meru. Wachana na siasa. Hapa masinani, kaa huko juu. Mbora atakuwa na competitor, governor atakuwa na competitor, senator atakuwa na yule wanashindana na yeye, wachana na siasa hapa nchini. Na kama heshima ile unapewa kama Deputy President wa Meru, tunaachana na wewe bana. Tunaachana na wewe.
ECP.
And only 4 days after launching his political vehicle for 2025, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua spent the better part of Sunday hiding from detectives who were eager to arrest him after attending a Sunday service in Murang'a County. Security officers laid a trap in Thika where Gachagua was holding a closed-door meeting with his allies, but he is said to have evaded capture by slipping away in an unmarked vehicle. Gachagua is accused of making inflammatory and ethnically charged remarks. The Kenya Kwanza administration now faces sharp criticism over claims of state intimidation, abductions, and the alleged misuse of the justice system to suppress dissent, especially those perceived as opponents of President William Ruto.
If you are governor and you don't toe the line, then they send EACC after you. Now please, Anti-Corruption Commission should never be weaponized against people who are exercising their right of freedom.
President William Ruto is on record that under his watch, he will not use the justice system to silence his critics.
Normally, before somebody is arrested who is working in government, the president is informed. And let me say it looking at Kenyans, the office of the president will not be used to use the criminal justice system against my opponents or for any political purpose.
We'll be resisting impunity.
It is just a matter of wait and see whether former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will soon be a guest of the state. Chris Dairo, KTN, Nairobi.